Hi and welcome along to AFTV Transfer Daily, the show that keeps you up to date with players that be linked with a summer transfer move to Arsenal. Coming to you today from my hotel room here in Denver, Colorado. Literally just getting myself together, packing my cases at the moment because we're going to be heading to LA where Arsenal continue their leg of this trip. And of course today brought to you by Unibet. Don't forget, check out my latest vlog by Unibet. The link is in the description. They asked me one player I'd like to sign this summer. I'm not going to tell you who that player is. If you get into the link in the description, you can find out who I said, but we all know we need players. And of course, listen, Arsenal's first friendly took place yesterday, where Arsenal beat the Colorado Rapids by 3-0. It was a pretty easy win for Arsenal, easy stroll out. In the first half, played all the youngsters. For the majority of the game, we played all the youngsters. And then later on, we brought on a couple of the big names like Lacazette, Ozil, Aubameyang. They got a great reception. I kind of knew right from the start of the game that they wouldn't play right from the start because Denver's about, it's known as the Mile High City because it's 1 mile above sea level, which means it's very high altitude here. So I didn't think that they'd risk some of the biggest players, but they did at least get on and the fans were very happy to see them. And of course, there was a debut goal in the game for Gabriel Martinelli, our only signing of the summer so far. Martinelli scoring a really good goal actually, and he looked very good. He looked very lively. Of course, listen, you can't get carried away with these sort of games. Colorado Rapids are playing a lot of their youngsters. They just had a game at the weekend as well. And as I said, it was a pretty, just easy stroll out for the team. But very well attended. Lots of fans there. Brilliant turnout. I kept forgetting that it was actually a Monday night and the tickets were very expensive as well. But it just shows the strength of our fan base here in the US. It's absolutely huge. And after the game, questions being asked to Unai Emery about transfers, what's happening, who we signing, who's coming in. And, Unai Emery telling everybody in that press conference that Arsenal are currently working very hard to try and get some deals done. He said that he's working daily alongside Edu to try and get new signings in, and he seemed to be in an upbeat mood that they will be coming, but he expressed that you've got to be very patient. And yeah, we know about that. Arsenal fans getting very frustrated. Now, linked today with Dani Ceballos of Real Madrid, the 22-year-old. We've spoken about him quite a few times here on AFTV. He's a very, very talented player. Impressed for Spain in the under-21s recently, and is currently having an extended sort of period of relaxation after taking place in that tournament. Now, Arsenal said to be closing in on a loan deal for Dani Ceballos. Ceballos is a player apparently that the president of Real Madrid doesn't really want to sell. He does really like him, but as we know, they've brought in loads of players at Real Madrid, Hazard, etc., and they do need to shift some of these players off of their wage bill. Ceballos is said to be, Arsenal said to be really ahead of the game in this, and Ceballos could be a signing for them. The deal would be a loan for the season with an option to buy, which of course that would suit Arsenal perfectly, suit them right down to the ground. We've freed up a lot of money on wages, and of course, the option to buy at the end of the next season would suit Arsenal because they wouldn't have the outlay of all the money up front. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens with that. Other clubs interested in particular Spurs, they were said to be the team really ahead of us in trying to sign him, but it looks like Arsenal may have moved ahead of Spurs in that deal. Now, talking about moving ahead of, we've been told yesterday and the day before that Tottenham had moved ahead of Arsenal to try and sign William Saliba. Saliba, of course, from Saint Etienne, centre-back. We know he's only young, 18, and we were told that Arsenal were looking to sign him for around about £27 million, then loan him straight back to Saint Etienne. But then the news came in that Tottenham had moved ahead of us, had offered more money for Saliba. However, we're reading today that from a lot of outlets that Saliba himself has come out and says, I want to go to Arsenal. I don't want to go to Tottenham. The preferred club I would like to join is Arsenal. Again, this one's not been completed yet, so we're going to have to see how this one turns out. We do need a centre-back, as we all know, because our captain, skipper, Laurent Koscielny, is not here at the moment in America. He's back over there with you guys in London, training with the kids. And Unai Emery asked about the situation yesterday. He didn't really let on about it too much. He just sort of said that, you know, it's between Koscielny and the club. He's spoken to Koscielny before he came out, but it's between Koscielny and the club. Very diplomatic by him. I noticed yesterday that a couple of ex-players coming out in support of Koscielny. Olivier Giroud saying that, you know, he knows Koscielny well, and that, you know, there's got to be something else behind this. Also, Matthew Flamini as well, saying a similar sort of thing. Whatever they want to say, I'm sorry. The club captain refusing to come to America is just totally unacceptable. Done a great interview with Mo yesterday, and I think he summed it up perfectly when he was speaking about Koscielny. And Arsenal now saying that, listen, they are not going to let Koscielny go for nothing. They want a fee for him, and if they get the right fee, they're said to be looking for around about £8 million. They will sell him. If not, he stays at Arsenal. There's teams like Marseille, Lyon, you know, interested in him, Bordeaux, a host of teams over there in France. But Arsenal playing hardball on this, and I think they're right. They will not sell Koscielny without a fee. And if they don't get that fee, Koscielny stays. Now, what about Kieran Tierney? This one rumbles on and on and on. We heard that the latest bid from Arsenal was rejected by Celtic, but we're being told that Arsenal are still negotiating behind the scenes. They're still confident that this deal is going to get done. The sticking point does seem to be all over this instalments matter, but Arsenal are quite confident that this deal will get done, and let's see how this one develops out. But certainly it's dragging out, and this is one of the reasons why fans are so frustrated at the moment. You would have seen yesterday the petition that went out against Stan Kroenke, saying that the fans, you know, basically a group of fan groups and also some bloggers got together, put this petition in, saying that they're not happy at the current situation and they want to see that Stan Kroenke cares. And I think a lot of it's come from the frustration in transfers. Kroenke was there yesterday at the game. He was sat sort of high in the stands above where we were sitting. Troops was trying to shout at him to say, listen, to spend some money. But certainly he's under a lot of pressure. And getting deals like this Kieran Tierney deal done would relieve some of the pressure, because these are some of the sources of frustration right now at the football club. There's Dani Alves, still being linked with Arsenal today. Of course, Dani Alves, what can I say, all-round brilliant player. He's had a fantastic career. Captained Brazil to the Copa America victory in the final over Peru recently. And even though he's knocking on in age, he's still a very, very good right back. He came out himself and said, listen, I've still got a lot left in me, still a lot left in the tank. Could Arsenal move for Alves? Of course, Unai Emery knows him from his time at PSG. It'd be good backup for Hector Bellerin, who's over here but still not fit, didn't figure in the match yesterday. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens with Dani Alves. Of course, he's got a lot of other clubs as well really interested in him, and you know, he might choose a club that maybe might have a Champions League football. It's not just the money, there's that problem as well when you come in talking about top line players like him, even though he is getting older. And then we're linked with two players from Real Madrid, Lucas Vazquez, who we've been linked with for quite a long time, but also Keylor Navas, and reports coming out of Spain that Arsenal may be about to make a £54 million double swoop for these two. I just can't see that. Vasquez, maybe. Keylor Navas. I mean, we've got more important things to do right now with the limited amount of money that we've got than to go for those two. So I really just can't see it. Let's get into a few of your comments. I haven't done a few of your comments for a couple of days. I've got my laptop in front of me. We've been out on the road. Ghost says, we've officially become a joke of a club for the whole world to see. If I was Aubameyang or Lacazette, I'd leave the club. No ambition, no heart. And as I said, you know, it was really damning yesterday when that petition came out. Brilliantly timed, I felt, by the guys who organised that to coincide just with that game, which we were calling last night the Kroenke Derby, because it was Colorado Rapids versus Arsenal, two of his teams. And it's definitely been embarrassing for the club. I've spoken to a couple of the club officials yesterday, and they said to me, this has been quite embarrassing. They've had a lot of negative, putting out content yesterday, Arsenal, and that just been hit with a barrage of negativity. MD Shabib says, ha ha ha, Stan Kroenke doesn't know that Arsenal FC are on the US tour. Well, actually, he was there. He was actually there. There's a lot of talk that he might not even turn up, but he was there, and he was there for what I could see nearly all of the game. But, is he getting the message about what's really going on with the fans? Amar23 says, one of the richest clubs, probably the costliest season ticket in Europe, I think it is. A global fan base, rich history, English giants, and here we are with one effing signing of a teenager from the 3rd division of Brazil. Says a lot about the current state of the club. Thank you, Stan. And finally, this one, Salman says, North London Rapids. That's what I feel like. That's what I feel like I support right now. It's not Arsenal, bruv. So listen, Arsenal moving on now from Denver to LA. My case is getting packed over there. I'm about to jump on a flight. Just got a text through to say it's been delayed. I'm sorry that the show's delayed a bit today as well. We had loads of interviews that we had out yesterday after the game. Lots of the US fans really keen to talk about the whole situation. And listen, make sure you check it out, because if you thought that all the fans over here are behind Kroenke, you got another thing coming. I mean, I was chatting to fans here in Denver, Colorado, where Stan Kroenke is from, and I think they feel exactly how everybody else feels, that they want him to get the checkbook out. They want him to start showing that he cares about Arsenal Football Club. Thanks for watching the show today. We'll be back tomorrow. We will be in LA. I'm looking forward to that one. Come on, Stan, get the checkbook out.